Thank you. Good evening. The time is 6:03 p.m. and this work session of the Selma City Council is hereby called to order. At this time, we're going to ask Councilman Johnson to please offer us a word of invocation for this evening.
I want to thank you for the years that you've passed us for the guidance and right at this time. Continue on blessing our families, friends, neighbors, black and white, that you put on. Please bless this meeting, bless the mayor, President Young, the council, and all. Please help us all we need us help. Continue on being with us and guiding. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. Thank you so much, Councilman Johnson. Let's all stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, everyone. You may be seated. We'll now have our roll call for the evening. President Young, President, Councilman Harville, Councilwoman Christy Thomas, President. Councilman Clay Carmichael, Councilwoman Lisa James, Councilman Randolph, Councilman Jemison, Councilman Johnson, and Councilwoman Jamie Thomas. Present. All right, thank you so much, Council, for your responses. At this time, the next item on our agenda are our citizens' requests. Before our citizens come, I want to remind everyone that 5 minutes is the maximum for our citizens' request. We have 5 citizens, so we will be strictly enforcing that tonight. Nothing personal, we just got to get through an agenda. We have 23 business items, we have 12 mayor's report items, and still don't know exactly how many we have in the attorney's report. So we have a very aggressive agenda, so we will be strict in our compliance with the rules. Also want to remind council members to be mindful of what you say following the citizen's request. Anytime there is litigation or the potential of litigation, whatever is said in a public forum is admissible evidence in a court of law. So I want to remind this body that this is not a court of law, that we can hear from our citizens. After hearing from them, we will have an opportunity to make comment or ask brief questions, but we also can refer to the appropriate department. So let us be mindful of this and also be mindful to be very respectful of one another and those that are slated to be on the agenda for the evening. So 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, we will be in strict compliance. Once you reach that 5 minutes, I will say time. So we'll start first with our first citizen for the evening, Mr. T'Challa West. Mr. T'Challa West. Mr. T'Challa West. All right, we'll move on to our next speaker for the evening, Mr. LaMarcus Snow. Mr. LaMarcus Snow. Mr. LaMarcus Snow. All right, our next speaker for the evening, Mr. David Black.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Just a heads up to the city attorney, this is not narrating this video. I have been videotaping every council work session, special call, committee meeting since 2016. A lot of these meetings, I was the only record kept. I have always posted the entire videos to publicly available Facebook pages and YouTube. Those pages have not changed. Videos are never narrated. My contract states that I am to live stream these meetings to the same sites. I've honored my contract. I started with this entire endeavor to provide much needed transparency in city government. Relying on the city to provide transparency on its own was not an option. We have seen the last administration, as well as this current, claim that they want transparency when they do everything in their power to obstruct the process. The current mayor has been known to turn off his live streams when meetings directions turned against him, and has removed council members' comments from an official page to hinder the truth from seeing the light. My voice has been silenced by this council as well. After being defamed in a public meeting by the city attorney and the mayor, I was denied a response. That denial to address my name being defamed in a public meeting has covered 5 different meetings. I have turned in several different notarized letters and been received into the clerk's office for information that I believe is related to the attack on my contract. I have had threats made against my family. I have been arrested in these very chambers just 2.5 hours after stating to the chief within earshot of the mayor that I feared that the attack on my family was in retaliation for my efforts to expose some suspected ill doings in city government. The stopping of my contract, as stated by our city treasurer multiple times, was stopped on a verbal directive from the city attorney and from the mayor. The accusations I've outlined in the certified letter from the city attorney are false. In that letter from the attorney was a demand that I destroy all video evidence, including any paperwork. It came with a threat if I didn't comply. It is a crime for any government official to demand immediate destroy potential evidence. Part of the information I requested of the city is being received, being believed to be evidence of some of those laws broken. The mayor stated that he was the one who stopped my contract because, in his word, my handicapped daughter made a video of the park that was not in compliance with ADA regulations. That video led to a formal official offering to help resolve the issue, but has been derailed by this current administration. When I went to the Recreation Department to inquire about the progress of the repairs, I was denied entry into the office. I was told in early February, standing outside that office, that an estimate has been received in late January, that it was doable, but it needed to be sent to the council for approval. That information has still not been sent to council. I am being treated different from other contractors. The language written in my contract is written with requirements that no other contractors are subject to. I am not the one in breach of my contract, but in fact, I am providing more transparency than this administration actually wants. The city's claim is an effort to stop that transparency. I am requesting that because of this breach, the city pay my contract out in full. I am also requesting that all personnel responsible for these unlawful acts to be addressed. I just want to be treated the same as everybody else and not discriminated against because of who I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Black. Appreciate it. Council, any comment? Thank you, Mr. Black. All right, we'll move on. I see Mr. Snow has arrived. And so if he would like to present at this time, he can. And we are strictly enforcing the 5 minutes this evening, Mr. Snow. But we're glad to see you. Yes, sir.
Excuse me, the gentleman, Miss Ward downstairs, she said her hip, you ain't gonna let her come up the stairs.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Good evening, council. How you doing, everybody? I came here today to talk about, the grounds of the city of Selma, the right of ways, which y'all know I'm always talking about that. I'm coming here today because I don't think public works is gonna be able to keep up with like the grass, right of ways and all that. I'm not putting them down in no form or fashion, but I'm coming today to give the council a proposal. You know, they can elect, you know, I'm not the mayor, I'm not the Selma City Council. It's just a proposal to any council member that want to elect to, take it. I'm gonna just give a quick explanation real quick. Okay, like, Councilwoman Jamie Thomas Ward said, in 2021, Public Works did not enter Ward 7 not one time. I believe they did the junkyard twice, if I'm not mistaken, the old scrapyard. But any other time, I was the one out there doing all the right of ways and everything, you know, just to try to help the city of Selma, you know, move a little further. So as a council member, I know Councilwoman Thomas, if she putting in regular work orders for to get something done in her ward, and in 2021, she never got none of the right of ways cut, none of the fields, or none of the city property cut, then that creates a problem for her, and it creates a problem for the citizens in Ward 7. I'm not only just speaking for Councilwoman Thomas, I'm speaking for Ward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You know, a lot of council members elect to wait on public work and see can they get it done. But as you see, it has been a year under this new administration, and I'm not saying day-to-day operation is failing, but they are not getting it done in a timely fashion. So I'm coming to council today, and I want to explain to each one of y'all that area that I'm talking about. Okay, I'm just giving an example. Y'all know gas and everything going up, so lawnmowers taking way more to fill up. I'm gonna still continue to do what I do for the city of Selma, whether any council member elected to go with my little small proposal. It will only be gas money anyway. I'll give a quick example because I know I'm running out of time. If Councilwoman Thomas elects, I'm just giving an example for her, and I'll give example in other wards too. I came up with, I can probably go from Councilwoman Thomas, I can go from Knox Elementary, that's from Knox, all the way to First Avenue, all your right of ways, all your sidewalks, your ditches and everything, just to help the city of Selma get up the par. I can probably do that for $1,500 a month. And that's me coming in probably once or twice a month and, you know, just hitting that whole area. And you know, that's basically gas money if I'm gonna do all them blocks, all them sidewalks, ditches and all that for $1,500 a month. That is basically just gas money, because you know, y'all usually if y'all do a right of way or in a ditch together, that might cost $3,000 if somebody do it. So by me coming to council with this proposal, that would help the city of Selma and help y'all. It wouldn't help snow cleaning service, because if I come in a ward and do from JL Chestnut all the way to First Avenue, all that up in there, for a price like that, that's really giving it away. You know, that's really just gas money and me more helping your community. But as you know, it don't take $15 to fill up a zero turn. Now it takes $30, $40. Another example, I want to get a councilman, Troy Harville. I don't know the deal with the marina, but I don't know if David, the owner of the marina, bought it or owns it, or the city owns it, but he shouldn't have to give me like a donation or something for me to go out there and do the marina. If it's city property, then the city should be held responsible for keeping it maintenance. And the same thing applies, what I was saying to every council member. If y'all having any problem with y'all wards and y'all work orders and stuff in the field, I put it on the table. I will come in your wards for $1,500 a month, pennies on the dollar, and get your right of ways just more to help us instead of saying like, that's your wards, the whole wards. I'm not talking about 1 or 2 blocks. That's the whole ward. You know, just to get everything flowing better, because the grass is going to grow, and you don't need to let it get out of hand. So that's really basically gas money for me to do all those blocks in one month, just to help them. I don't know who want to let to Got you. I got you. Hey,
Thank you, Mr. Snow.
I see you frown looking at that. It ain't, I believe you got it for about 60 seconds last time. It cost $14, y'all. It ain't no violation, it cost $15. I got you a stop.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. But you know, that's all I got. If anybody,
Another community service project.
yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Snow.
If anybody wants to, they can, if you don't, I'm still gonna continue to do what I do for the citizen.
We appreciate it.
See what fell out.
Okay.
That's fine. I believe that.
Right there, come in. Oh, that's a can.
Hey, all right, y'all know on the track, man.
Thank you, Mr. Snow.
I'll see y'all later.
All right, appreciate it. All right, next to the city, Ms. Jeannie Ward.
I'm going to speak in behalf of Jeannie. Due to our elevator, you know that is very
Yes,
important.
ma'am.
She has a problem with those stairs.
Okay,
Her work order.
and we're gonna get 5 minutes. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
It revolves around the work order that I had put in place. Also, it deals with, we have a city drain that goes back to, behind her house too. And in that area, that horseshoe loop, whenever it rains and, whenever we get rain, water has anywhere to go. Miss Jeannie has been wanting to put a driveway on her property, but she can't because of the water backup. Also, Miss Jeannie had some problems back here. She had to spend money out of her pocket, which she had been dealing with public work. Bobby Green has been going out there. And she spent $150 on a problem that was on city. And she's asked to be reimbursed. And we're gonna turn that over to the clerk office and go from there. And
Will be a board of adjustments too. Can the board of adjustments look at it too? Okay.
yes, because she's been having this problem, not just in she called me, I've been out there and I took pictures, I even see the pictures. And that's why I was important that we get the elevator.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you were within her 5 minutes, so thank you. All right, excellent. Now we move on to Ms. Valerie Tarver, our next speaker for the evening. Ms. Tarver.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm on the corner of Carroll and Ninth Street. Carroll and Ninth. It's also good. Come aboard. I stopped calling Public Works in 2013 about a cave-in over there inside my house. They came out in 2016. So as we go hold everything, and by 2016 it was 3 cave-ins out there. They fixed it. Okay. The day after, it rained. The next day, I come outside, I saw something unusual. There was another cave-in. This 2016 in May. I called them. I called them in June 2016. Back in 2017. Called 2018. Found one day when Mr. Smith was still with Public Works. He came out. He looked at the first hole. He said, this looks dangerous because it was close to the end of the pavement. He said, if somebody come close to that pavement, that can cave in. But I didn't know this. Now because of 4 cave-ins over there. I have pictures of them over there. I'm dealing with it. Don't put anything over, cover them. Every time I find a cave-in, I call my brother, there's another cave-in. Bring a pattern out. He put the pattern up. When he came out to cover the 4th cave-in, the ground cave-in underneath him. He failed. That's one you see by the way. And I've done this for trying to get this fixed ever since 2016. And I want to know why.
Okay. Any council members would like to make any comment?
I would like to speak because it's in my ward.
Yes, ma'am.
I have put in work order more than one time, I started with this, the four years that I was in Ms. Carol, I have been out to her house so many times. I have seen these cave in, I've been appeared, and I keep putting the work order in. And the last of this new administrator, we put a work order in, and Ms. Ellis showed them to the mayor and to Mr. Hicks. They looked at it on her computer. And since then, no one has been out there to take care of this issue. And I understand what she's saying as a representative of the board, it needs to be taken. It really-
So it has been reported, work orders have been put in,
Yes,
and they've been put in since 2016 when it first started happening.
it's been put in since the
2013.
first 4 years that I've been in.
Okay.
I have put it in several times, and in the period of time, the cases in have come more. And, the date of, I went out there before, of doing this first year of administration, of the new administration.
Okay.
And we did another work order. And compared to the months up to now, no one has addressed it or anything.
All right, that is go ahead, Councilman Johnson.
Yeah, in voice of, I look at the picture, it look like the pipe. It's like the pipe that the drain from the bus that broke. Really didn't call the engineer to say, oh, need to be involved as well. Because I think he need to look at that, because it ain't gonna get better, it'll get worse.
That's it.
Definitely find some. All of the things.
Mr. Ray,
Okay,
he has been there.
okay, yes, ma'am. Okay, could you give me I missed where it is, you said the corner of
Carroll Street and Ninth Avenue.
Carroll Street and Ninth Avenue.
Yes, because see, the pallets are now falling over in the house. We can't get no pallets that they fall over in the house.
Well, Councilwoman Thomas has done what she's supposed to do. And that's submitted, I know, she submitted she submitted the work orders. And it sounds like it's a serious issue to this. And so what I'll ask is that we send a correspondence to the mayor's office and ask him to provide us with a status of it or what needs to be done. If we need to take a vote to do something, we'll do it. But I need to get the status of it from him because that is a day-to-day operation. All we can do is vote on spending, the money that needs to be used to repair. So we need to hear from him and hear from his department head, Mr. Hicks. He answers to the mayor. And so we'll submit a correspondence, an email to the mayor and to Mr. Hicks and ask them to provide a status since you did come before the council and come before this public body. And once we receive that, we will send that correspondence to you so that you will know what's going on as well. Okay? Thank you so much, and I'm very, very sorry for the inconvenience. We all are very sorry. Thank you, and have a great day. All right. All right, thank you, citizens, for your attention, and also thank you for hearing to the 5 minutes. We'll now move on to announcements. Are there any announcements of any council members? Yes, sir.
On the April 13th, this coming Wednesday, UAB will be presenting a health valve that's now able out the church. They will be looking at some of the water. And anybody interested in coming in out there from in other ward, which they're gonna come and try to help me with the fish pond, because the walkway on the fish pond caved in. And they're gonna be there. I will give them a tour away at 10:30, because the meeting will start at 1 o'clock. This coming Wednesday, April 13th, and now they're about the church. So if anybody want to come and be there, I welcome them to come and see what they can possibly get done. They want. So that will be this April 13th at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock, okay. And this is like a health fair, so people can come and get screenings?
Yeah, well, not this much help there.
Oh.
I don't have.
It's a meeting.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
From UAB.
UAB.
But it's, but I will put it up in the community in a second. But yeah, but I left my flyer out.
Okay.
And I'm gonna announce again this coming Tuesday. Well, Miss Dr. Henry from the recreation department, I've been kind of, she was on recommend, but I think it will be something.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilman. Any other announcements?
Yes.
Yes.
I like to have make this announcement, and this is to the body of council, and all to the citizens of Selma. Every year we do non-stop lives. We have a young lady, mother, Alexis Hunter, has always had a scholarship, her mother started a scholarship for her. And it's a scholarship for anyone that's in Ward 7 that's graduated this year. We have the opportunity to apply for this scholarship. Also, we have to do an essay. We will be given this scholarship, this application now. They will have a chance to pick it up here at City Hall during the daytime. And it would have to be turned back in April the 25th because of April the 30th. We will be having an event, Stop Violence, which in our community we've been for the last 6 years. And we will be giving out the scholarship to the one that, these are the requirements of this. They're required to do an essay, which you must be a resident in Ward 7. You must submit your school transcript. You must provide college acceptance letter and class scale. And you must have a 2.5 GPA. And you must complete that essay. And the essay is talking about promoting nonviolence. As we want to see what young people have to say about the violence in the community and the city of Selma. We want to get a good essay from our young people describing about violence. And we've been started in 2016 with President, our former President, Bowie, and we selected another one to do it. So we want to continue to do that, and also President Young will always a part of this because this is something that Ward 7 has been doing more than 6 years. And the mother, I explained to the mother, she could be there at the meeting. So the council always take part of this. We all have violence in our district. And we're going to be having some great things going to be changing this year about parents and children need mental. They are hurting. The families, they will call and saying they hear nothing about their loved one being murdered in the case. They hear they don't hear anything. And some of the family members are grieving. So we're going to be doing some great things, setting up so we can work with these families. We're going to be in the community, we're going to work with everyone. So we're going to start in Ward 7.
So the rally is going to be April the 3rd.
Yes, at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. Is it cross the service?
First, we're going to do every year in the community. And everybody's invited because we're going to have some good information this year to help some family members that will work.
Good, good. Thank you, Councilman Thomas. Any other announcements? All right, we'll now move on to our mayor's report. I believe, council, for the most part, everything that's on the mayor's report pretty much is what we were presented at the last work session before our last meeting. So he's already presented these items from the last meeting. So be prepared to take the proper votes on Tuesday.
On one of them.
Yes, ma'am.
That's a question that I would like.
Okay, I don't see him here. I don't know which, go ahead and say your question and we'll see if someone here can answer.
Okay, the question is, it may be tricky.
Okay,
With the mayor was, it's dealing with the 300 and
all right. And I think I've been told Chief Fulford is here to speak regarding one of the items. Did Did you want to say something, Chief?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Good evening, I have two items.
go ahead, Chief.
Good evening. One is a budget adjustment item for, the amount of $77,736.57. This is in reference to our JAG. We were, under the impression back in October that the funds were already there, and it didn't, I think the council approved it in January this year.
The grant was accepted, in January.
January, okay. So there is an overage, so I'm requesting that the council approve for us to transfer this.
As indicated.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Council, this is item number 3 in the mayor's report, and you can see what he's talking about in regards to the request to adjust budget line items. And as he stated, it was over the amount that we received for the grant. And so to make our budget correct, this budget transfer, this budget request is requested. All right?
And the second item, we recently did promotions, and we were one lieutenant short. And I spoke with the treasurer, and we do have the funds to, it's gonna be less than $1,000 overall for the rest of the fiscal year. So I'm asking the council to approve that fourth.
Okay. And that's the next page.
Yes.
Where it has salaries, overtime, and, okay, $71,120, that's the one you're talking about?
That was, no,
Is that-
that was the JAG.
Let's see. Okay. Now let's, gas. Which item number is that, Chief? You know? You don't think it's in there?
I don't think it was in the letter.
I don't think we received it yet, Chief.
Okay.
So can you have somebody email it to us? So because I thought, I got it confused with that other one,
Okay,
but it's not in here.
okay,
Okay, Chief,
yes, sir.
we appreciate it. If there are any additional questions about it, we'll let you know.
Yes, sir.
All right,
I have one question.
go ahead, Councilwoman Thomas.
Is that the, what we was in the budget the last time that you came before us, like the JAG grant, that the balance was $30,000 in there, or this is something?
That's dealing with the JAG grant.
Yeah, the balance was told to 30,000.
Correct.
All right, thank you, all right. And I believe, like I said, all the other items that are indicated in the report, we've already gone through at the previous work session, so we'll be prepared to do the proper votes at the next meeting. Hearing nothing else from the mayor's report.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Someone, we got Wi-Fi for it was about the forgiving loan. Because my Wi-Fi is not even.
Is there,
Under the mayor report, is the forgiving loan 350, but it's 300.
is that in here?
Yeah, it was in there. It was about to use it for your, in Ward 1.
Is it the grant for the landfill drive project? Is
Yeah,
that what you're talking about?
for, training.
Okay, that's item number 7 in the, packet, ladies and gentlemen. Item number 7. And that was the memorandum from Ms. Wu.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can I do that?
yes, you can.
Can I have it, and then I can ask my question?
Yes,
Yes. The question is that I want to ask about it. With this, before we can give, forgiving loan, we must complete our auditor report. Am I right? What the mayor is asking to do.
You're asking before a loan can be forgiven, we must turn in a completed audit report.
We done one,
Okay,
but we have not completed our 20 and our 2021.
and you're asking the treasurer this
Yes.
question.
I'm asking the treasurer because, the reason why I'm asking her is based on this, before we can cast a vote, all of our audit report has not been completed. And for them to apply to say to be a forgiving loan, don't we supposed to have our audit report up to the standard to say that, what is our debt?
Okay, I can't answer that question because I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. So you're talking about the memo from your opinion?
Yes,
Okay, about Landfair Drive? In reference to Landfair Drive?
yes, and it said that they would like to do it as a, forgiving, wanted to do it. In order to do that for forgiving, don't we need to have all of our auditors report up to the standard? We only got 2019, and we're in the process of getting 2020, and you're like, we're gonna finish 2021.
Can maybe do some research on that?
And that's why I didn't want to vote, because I've been doing some research on this. And I wanted to ask the question, because I cannot vote for this if it's not. You understand? And also, when he has, land, was that Landfair Drive? Landfair Drive does not revolve around this given, loan that you're asking us.
Well, this is
And that's the
just,
reason why I wanted to vote. You said we would have to take a vote,
yes, ma'am.
but there were questions I
Well, but
was.
this was just a memo, so it may not require a vote, it's just for information purposes. But we'll get the research done, and we may need to ask Ms. Wooten as well, and we'll come back with something. Thank you, Councilman Thomas. Appreciate it. All right, we'll move on now to our business items. We'll move on to our business items, and we'll start with the update on Primary Ward 4, Third Lead and Ward 4, and Council Retreat. So Councilwoman James, so we'll move on past those. We'll move to the next items. As Councilman Johnson, you got the next 5 items, sir. Thank you, Councilman.
Okay. One of the things is a close question on Park Avenue. Several years ago, I had a one-way street there going from back to the Miller Funeral Home going to the students. So, Mr. Miller, along with Mr. Randolph, I thought it would have been a good idea to close that part, just the part that going St. Philip, going into the project, because so much traffic coming back there to the funeral. Mr. Miller asked me, can we have that portion closed? And I just want Mr. Attorney, look into this, closing portion. You give me, we can go down and look at the section on top out, this closing part behind the funeral. Because when they have funeral service and people walking on back there, the cars be coming back there, and what they want to do, they come right in front of the funeral home, make a right and go down the Walking Street. And that way, we're just gonna block that part from St. Philip, from back to St.
When you say block, I understand that to mean vacate a part of the street.
Yes, right. That's one thing I want you to look into. And, Attorney, I know that there are 10 people on this council. A mayor and 9 others. I'm not trying to get in front of nobody. I just want you to put it in order. That's one thing. The other thing is, the update on James Perkins Junior Park, we voted on it in the last administration. On foot of the bridge, just trying to get an update on that. I'll see where we at with that portion. We put $25,000 of reserve. I think it's into the Thompson, Mayor Thompson. So we want to see where we at with that. I'm not sure if we get the information for Mr. Mayor. I want to get an update on that from someone. Also, I'm just going to continue to Mr. Attorney. Rename of Plant Street to Terry Jackson Boulevard. We had already voted on that in the last administration. Mr. Jackson want to move forward with that. So whatever we need to do, we're going to move forward with that. We want to get that going. That was voted on in the last administration with Terry Jackson Boulevard. Also, I talked to Councilman Jemison and Dr. Hendrick about reopening the East Selma Baseball Park. We want to try to get with the mayor and Dr. Henry and Councilman Jemison here with recreation because we got some sponsors and we got some East Selma Baseball Association, and Truth Selma will come together and bring that league back. Now, it's not going to interfere with what we got out there. It's even for the kids that can't get rides to go out there. The areas that we've done before and it's successful, we want to try to do that again.
Like that.
Okay, and also, I talked to Dr. Henry and Councilman Jemison about a quote to repair the deed pool. I think she came before the council. I was sick. I wasn't here. I think we'll 50-some thousand. Governor Mission gave 75. Your brother, soon be hopefully a training, them, come law school, gonna donate $1,000 toward it as well. Last week, if councilman to donate some money, if they can, help with that, because this ain't just a Ward 8 thing, it's all citizens from every ward, swimming pool. So if you can, I appreciate it, but we need to get that swimming pool back open, hopefully soon, this year if possible. And, but I already talked to Dr. Henry about it, and I'll conclude. You can call me out.
Thank you, Councilman Johnson. That was good information you gave. Thank you so much. All right.
Mr. President.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to correct some, Mrs. Johnson, that said it was each one of us, and you said 25,000, it wasn't 25,000. At the time, it was 10,000. Each council person gave $1,000 to do the repair of under the shore aspect. But we all gave up $1,000 a piece. It was 10 people at that time. In a minute, go back to 40 minutes. The year it was 2018.
Mr. President,
Well, I'm just saying.
well, what happened is, I had a conversation with you. I had a conversation with the ex-councilman, for sure. She do see the $25,000 that was in the plan development for the park.
Okay.
We have done some work to the park, like the wooden planks and stuff on them, and all the lower parts.
I've seen.
All that been repaired.
Uh-huh.
We went through the process of getting the iron part.
With the name on
on
it.
the song itself, taken down.
And put
And
Jackson.
put this, right, put Mel, well, it was James
Mayor
Jr.,
Mhm.
voting right part, something like that. That hadn't got done, so we just trying to update, see
On what's going on.
Right, because like I said, again, it's the first black mayor, ain't nothing, and hang out with it, you know, so we just trying to see what's wrong with it.
Excellent.
And Mr.
Okay.
President, we please fully have clerk for the record to make, verify with the body of the council.
You making that request?
Yeah, for the record.
And also, Mr. LaShaw has said he's gonna give his whole rest of the discretion to it, but at the last minute, he changed his mind, because that would have been right, not to leave Councilman, Jemison from funding it, but him to take, over, for, 6, 5.
$6,000 for the park.
And that made this whole, I'm not rejecting that, but still, in the plan to build, I think it's
Yes.
$25,000 in the board park.
Okay, I have that as a note that we need to ask for the minutes, and I got what you said to Councilman Johnson, so thank you. All right, let's move on now, ladies and gentlemen, to the next 3 items, and they are Councilwoman Jane Thomas. You have those items.
I'm doing a follow-up, the reason why is because of the law, which requires, when we go for equipment, we go for equipment to repair our streets and to do things that we need to do in our city. When public work comes before us and the mayor asked to request for us the city needed all these equipment, which we did, both and gave all everything that they asked for, from side cutter to a bulldozer, whatever it was needed. I put a work order in on May the 16th of 2020. Here it is May, today is May the 6th.
April is,
I'm gonna say April the
7th.
6th. I put a work order in 4/16 of 2021 for a cave in on LL Anderson on Main Street. This month will be the 16th of 2022, will be 1 year. I have the work order. The work has never been done. We voted for the equipment. And the barrel is still sitting in the street. And I just want my work order, I want that taken care of. That's too long. It's the 16th of April of this year will be 1 year. And I would like to get that taken. It's very important. My next.
that's LL Anderson, correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
down in the bottom,
okay.
the barrel sitting in the middle of the street, big hole. My next is public safety concern. We are very concerned about public safety. As me as a elected official that lives in the neighborhood, we are part of with all of the other cities. Friday, public safety is number one issue. Friday, I was around the street. I hadn't made it good in the community. Gunfire, broad daylight. Shootout, broad daylight. In our neighborhood. Citizens in my ward are tired. They call me because I am their brother. At the time, I was already in the neighborhood with gunfire. Every police in the cell was in our ward Friday. Not from there on. Saturday night, gunfire. You would have thought someone had I don't know what kind of gun it was. Rounds you're terrorizing the people. Just need public safety for another. Sunday, gunfire, a murder comes up. You know, we have got to voice on this. People are afraid. They're afraid. And there's no lie, they are afraid. Councilman Tony, did you hear? Sure, I'm out here in it. So we got to work hard on public safety in that area, even in the daytime. Even we got the most of our police areas that have the problem with the gunfire, we need more patrol. And I think, or some baby or some whole person, each one of them. Next is property. I brought before Mr. Kurt Kaplan the last meeting, and I asked their attorney, would like for him to move on the process of the legal way that we need to do for him to get that property from the city. It's not a big property. We need to follow the procedures which requires under our selected reading guideline of this property. And doing to do the same way that we did the other one, I would like to.
You're talking about sale of property?
Yes.
It obviously can be done. Whether or not it's done the same way remains to be seen about the way we hold councilmen. Harville asked a question about how we came to hold or own property. That's critical and germane to how we transfer it.
Yeah, and the only thing I asked you was that you, I would like for you to use the guideline which require us when we selling the property under the selected reading.
Well, I'm
That's the only thing
going to have to follow the law, but what I'm saying is how we own the property is instructive and informational as to how we transfer it. That's all I was getting at.
Yeah, and I just wanted to, ask you when you,
Sure.
move on that.
I'll need contact information, that's all.
For instance, if tax is owed on the property, that tax has to be.
It has
paid by
every-
the individual.
It has
They have
everything to
times.
do with how we transfer it.
This is not
A tax
house
property.
or a tax property. It's a little drain section that is connected to the person that owned the property. And with a fence, with their fence, and the city storm drain comes from the street. And it goes straight back into their property.
I hear what you're saying, Councilman, but what he's, both of you are correct. He is correct in saying he's got to do a research to see how we originally got that property. Because if we originally got it through a certain means, then in order for a person to have a clear title, we've got to do that title search and make sure that no tax is owed. Otherwise, that person doesn't get a clear title. Mr. Carrington will get a clear title. So I understand what you're saying about the property, so research it.
And I didn't know if you had sent any contact information, the other thing I was pointing out. If there's contact information other than the street address, I can use that too, if you just send it to me.
It's at that residence.
And you also may want to put him in contact with Mr. Carrington as well. Give him Mr. Carrington's phone number and all that information, so that the necessary parties come to the table to discuss the matter. Okay.
And my last one,
Yes, ma'am.
is, I take things, very serious when it comes to our neighborhood. And, I see it's coming, where city right away, grass is actually high. And, when we have high grass, we have high time. In my area. In some areas, we have really high crime with that grass. Even with the school route, I want to protect the school there. Junkyard, that grass should be up there. You know, I just wanted to let the citizens know that the work orders for the streets have been tore up. We all got potholes. The work orders are put in on L.L. Anderson, on Valley Creek. I have put so many work orders. And I know, I see the people, I feel the people. When you drive down these streets, and you got 4 to 5 potholes on one street across from the other end of the church, they can at least bring a barrel, but put something in there to get some, asphalt. So, I just wanted to put the citizens to know that the council put the work order in, but it's out of our hands once we put it in.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you for your items. We'll now go to Councilman Randolph, his item municipal court cases. We'll do that another time. Councilman Harville, Barrett Road Drainage.
I think the mayor listed it on his report.
Okay.
And I will try to get an update on you. Somebody else here can give me an update on it.
Okay, and Councilwoman James, your 3 items, please.
Listen, you didn't let me do my last. Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you said you were done.
No, I didn't say that, did you?
I'm so sorry, I thought you said you were on your last one. Go ahead.
President, excuse me,
My last one is.
point of privilege, I need to be excused for 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
My last one is dealing with a case through our magistrate. A case was, we never got any information. A case was done in 2020. And here it is 2022, that I have to go and ask, what's the holdup on the case? And I didn't get anything until I say I needed it in writing. I needed it in writing. And I got it in writing where you can miss the case that without I did not even know it. And give me something that say Swans versus South 2 feet. I don't think they knew that I was gonna go and do research on it. I think, Mr. President, we need to, our magistrate and our judicial branch over there, we need to look into something. Because we don't need, you just don't throw people cases out and they don't get a letter, they don't get it. So I had to bring it because this is the legislative branch and it falls up on us. And it needs to be. No one gets a letter stating.
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you. All right, Councilwoman James.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, good evening,
Good
rather.
evening.
I apologize for calling this. I have a meeting, but I want to get back in. I know you can just going on.
You're moving.
That's good, that's good. How everybody doing today?
Good, wonderful.
All right. I had wanted, is Chief, Chief on?
He just left, he was here.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I just wanted him to give us an update because we don't hear anything about what's going on in the city. We don't hear anything what's going on with crime, and there is so much crime going on, but we hear nothing. And even in my ward, I mean, at the council time, I see a police officer ride through my ward. And also, I want to see on moving some things with Millie and Chief Fulford on how we can get this city served better, because every ward is hurting, and we paying these people, we need some action now. Every last one of our ward needs the citizens need to know that we got police officers, we have a person working in between the police officer and the council. They need to know this. And I want to get some data. I don't want to just get some words I need some data on what crimes have already been dealt with, what the police officers are doing, because we struggled. We gave them a raise. I need to see more performance. I need to see more performance from our police officer. Whether we have 20, they need to deliver to what we really need. We did our end. And now I need to see them do their end, because the citizens should have to call up every day to complain about issues. This is issues that's in Ward 4 been going on now for 6 months. And we literally have people scared and moved. We have people that have been living in their house 30, 40 years. They duck it every night. They duck it through the day. I was in my yard doing yard work, and I had to jump real fast and run around the corner. I had what's going on. I mean, they are shooting in broad daylight. They have no fear for our officers. And I know we don't pay top pay, but we pay well now. And I need some performance as we pay. And also, I'll move on to the next one, dirt. I want to see what I can do about getting all these dirt holes where they get in the trash. You know, I'm really working Ward 4. I'm working that water. If I don't do anything these 4 years, that water will get cleaned up. And we need some dirt put in them. I had to pay for it. I need to bring it back and get the dirt done. The last thing, the council retreat. Ms. Ellison had been talking to us many times about it. And I think, you know, with COVID, we've all been boosted up and we all been really taking care of ourselves. I think it's time now for us to get together and see what our mind is, so we can bring them closer together. What our goal was when we ran. Our goal was that we was gonna change Selma. And Ellison, she's been working hard trying to get together, and we're ignoring her. A lot of things that Ms. Ellison tell us, she's been here. She knows the road. She tried to keep us from being in trouble. And she wanted us to have this retreat last year. COVID came in a little harder. I think, you know, let's just take time out. It's only a one-day something. Let's try to do it so we can move Selma forward, because I see the growth in Selma. I see it. I just want us to grow on this council, because they just want none of us trust nobody. And we can start trusting each other in this council. Because we still got 3 more years to be here. We got 3 more years to make this thing great. And I think we can do it. I think this is a good group. I think we can do it.
President, can I respond to, Councilwoman? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One of the things, we can, donate some money to equipment. PA, I mean, Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
The crime task
Drug
force.
task force, that's.
We need to get them involved. We have met secretly in the past. And the crime task force worked that area. Matter of fact, in the last administration, they were willing to work part-time along with the police department. But for some reason, the administration, the chief at the time was Constable, didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We had all, the whole council agreed to that. We didn't have a problem paying them what we've done, but they ain't no joke. They're not afraid to go into these hard areas like GWC home and all that. Them guys is good. They experienced, they're military, but we really need to have a meeting with John Jackson, and let's try to get the crime task force. Because when the Attorney General came back in and gave us, what, $500,000 million? And when he left, he said, this is gonna be it. In other words, they brought the FBI here. I think they did a lot of patrolling. They invested in some cars and tried to, and I'll see the part. I think the people knew that it was in town. So, but they tried to get to a point that we can sustain it, to keep it like it should. But now it's going way back out of line. Man. So we definitely get some other agents in town to try to help with this situation. Because when they ask for donation, we get it. May not give them what they want. We give some, but we do.
That's right. Okay. Good, come on.
I just, and I know, nobody's making the point.
No, we not. You're right.
Not at all. But I just want to make sure this is a very complex issue. And we can write all the tickets, make all the requests that we want to make. When the judge is turning his client back out on the street, I know the police, I mean, I can't imagine how frustrating they are. And the voters have got to start holding judges accountable.
Right.
And you got somebody that, well, he was arrested for murder or something. Well, guess what? He got 47 felony convictions, found out running around on the street. That's not the police's fault. And again, I'm not saying, I know we're not fussing at the police. I'm just saying it's a complex issue. Voters have got to start holding the judges.
And to what Councilor Harville just said, there is that, Councilwoman James, that a lot of the crimes are committed by the same group of people, that are sometimes, they're out on bail. And while they're out on bail, they commit another crime. So you are absolutely correct. We definitely need to concentrate on those that are committing the crimes, because everybody says, I'm not committing the crime. Most of the people that say, I'm not committing crimes. And so we've got to, you're exactly right. It's a very complex and a huge issue that has to be addressed. Thank y'all for that. We'll move on now to the next 10 items. And so, 10 minutes. I'm gonna try to make it. Councilman Chris Thomas said 5 minutes. She just gave me 5 minutes. I'm gonna try to move it along. Okay, the first item on that agenda is a litigation case status report. And this is directly towards the attorney. Each member of this council needs a case status report. That is something we should have had when we first got on, but that's neither here nor there. We need a case status report so we can see all of the pending cases that the city of Selma is involved in our district circuit courts, if there are district, but definitely our state courts, appellate, and also all of our cases that are pending in federal courts. So we need a case, and I know you know what our case status report should look. But basically, a little bit about the case and also the amount of relief that's requested. Because a lot of times figures are thrown out. Thankfully, we are solvent right now. The city of Selma is meeting its obligations. But solvency does not mean you got money. Solvency just means you try to make it. If one of these cases on a case status report and the judge orders that we owe $25 million, then guess what? You don't have $25 million budget. So you don't know if you got money. And so you got to deal with the money that you got. So the council, each member of this council, and some of you may have it, I know I don't. Every member of this council needs to have a case status report, a litigation report that shows all the pending cases. And we want to see how long they've been pending. And see how long, because that's one of the things we're talking about this time while we're up here. While we're up here, we got to get some of these cases, whether they be settled, resolved, whatever, but we need to get some of these cases off the books so that we will one day be able to say the city of Selma has a nice little reserve put away. So let's get that case status report. And also, Mr. Attorney, may we get this report by May the 9th?
Yes.
Okay, and then once we get it on May the 9th, can we get an updated report every 6 months?
Yes.
Because, thank you, because hopefully every 6 months, this is us putting some attention on this. Because we get caught up in a lot of other stuff, and I'm throwing my pen, but we get caught up in a lot of other stuff sometimes, and we lose focus. So this is focus. Thank you.
May I take 60 seconds and elaborate on your request?
Yes, 60 seconds of my 10 minutes.
On the 27th of this month, we have a risk management workshop already scheduled with our insurers. The city of Selma department heads submitted to me all of their risk management concerns. It's been forwarded to our insurance carriers. We've asked for them to review that, to give us feedback on the concerns as well as blind spots we may have that they're aware of, including claims and litigation. So we'll have an update. I already have a template for what you're asking for. I'll revise it a little bit to include the information you just asked for.
Excellent. If we can get this, I think this will be a step in the right direction. And y'all, this is us being good stewards, which we are charged to be. Thank you so much, Mr. Attorney. And this is not a day-to-day operation. This is a legislative branch responsibility to know what cases are pending. So there should be no confusion on this. I'll wait till he finishes. Okay, so Mr. Attorney, I just was saying that, so there's no confusion. This is not a day-to-day. This is a council duty. This is under your duty to report to the council.
May 9th and 6 months thereafter.
And 6 months thereafter, sounds great. All right. And I'm making that request with the idea that everyone is in agreement with that request. All right, excellent. Thank you, Council. Okay, the next thing, I don't see anyone from HR here, and I do not see the mayor here, but our municipal court application. I know that Councilwoman James said something tonight involving municipal court, and also Councilwoman Thomas has said something involving municipal court. We put out the positions for municipal judge and also for defense lawyer. Those, that period, that window for the job application process has ended. I believe it ended before April got here. I think it might have, the last day was March 31st. So we need those applications. It's my understanding that they are in possession of HR. I am going to submit the request to the mayor's office that those be turned over to the council at Tuesday's meeting. Council, do all of you agree on making that request?
I agree.
Okay, so I will make the request to the mayor that we receive those applications so that we can begin the process that we voted on to select the judge and select the defense lawyer. And we still got to come back and understand what we're going to do about the prosecutor. But we need to get those two prosecutors. So we need to get those two positions filled. And remember, we voted. It starts with the Public Safety Committee. We will interview those people. All council members are welcome to attend those interviews. And then we will make the recommendations of 3 to the council, narrow down to 2, and then eventually narrow down to 1. And so that request will be made with the consensus of the entire council that's present here at the meeting. Thank you, council. Next item on the agenda, city debt. And the treasurer can offer this with us too, because I know she has been bombarded with numerous, with a plethora of issues since she got here. And so I hate to add, but I believe she has the capacity to handle it. I know she has the ability. Some of the older council members, and I don't mean older, seasoned council members, are aware of the debt, those bond issues. You all are aware about balloon payments. You all are aware about how long the debt has been. But for those of us that are new to the council, we've never received any documents related to what is owed, what the debt is. Y'all understand that debt management is the difference between servitude and freedom. Selma needs to be free. So we need to find out what the debts are so that when we're making these decisions on finances, since Councilwoman Thomas, we're the body that's responsible for financial decisions. Before you spend something, you need to know how much debt you need. And so, Mrs. Barnes-Smith, if you could please, Ms. Barnes-Smith, could you please find that information and to give to us regarding the bond issue, about balloon payments, how much more time we got to pay on it, you know, all perfect information. Could that be shared to each council member? That is another thing that we should have been given when we first got on, but it's okay, because we're gonna catch up. So each one of us need to have these things, because when we're making the decisions we make, and I see you, when we make the decisions we make, we have that in our minds, that'll help us make better financial decisions. Go ahead, Madam Treasurer. Yes, please. Do you want the information about lease payments?
Absolutely.
Please.
All debts.
Please. Council, are you all in complete agreement with everybody present that we request this information?
Yeah.
All right, so please get that to us so that we can be good councilmen. We're trying, go ahead.
Mr. President, and don't we have a definition of how much we can go, because we can find ourselves way over what I think Trish knows what I'm talking about. Yes.
Well, we have right now, we have 4 outstanding bonds. One of them will be paid off in February of next year. One bond is split between the city and the school board. I think off the top of my head, we have one. Can't remember when it's put in the doors, but I've been working with the auditors with some of it. So right now, all those numbers are running together, but I do know one we paid off, we have four bonds. One is due on a principal, interest level, one to, interest and principal level. So as far as the amount of debt, I guess it all depends on your financial status with your annual reports.
Thank you.
Is that a question that could be asked to the auditor, since you're working with them now about the debt limitation?
I can ask them.
I knew she had the capacity. Thank you for that question.
And don't we have a limit, don't we have a limit?
A limit on,
That's what she just.
and she's gonna find out, and she's gonna find out
Yeah.
what that is. And that's useful information, y'all. We need that, we need that.
So,
And, just like the one we get through, one to bond next year. Well, see, we can have a praise party. Yeah. If that happens, we'll be thankful for that we still got more. But we need to know this, and we need to let the citizens know these types of things. Because Councilwoman Thomas, we are responsible for finance. So we need to know this financial
And I
information.
agree with the president, because here, the last administration, we had more debt than we had revenue coming in.
See what I'm saying? Right.
So,
That's-
it's definitely important.
That's important.
Even on the proof, but there was proof.
It's come on.
You can have money on paper, but money in the bank ain't there, you can't write a check for that.
Get out.
And that's what we went.
Thank you, Councilman John. Well, this council will not, because everybody up here is gonna have the information. They're gonna, and every vote we take, we'll know, we'll have some knowledge. All right, let's move on to the next item, Revenue Committee. Remember, we formed a Revenue Committee. And that's Councilman Harville, Councilman Randolph, yours truly, and any member who wants to come. I want to announce that we're having a Revenue Committee meeting on April the 28th. And we will be sending the appropriate memo to the mayor, requesting his attendance, as well as the attendance of the tax collector, the attendance of the treasurer, and also the attendance of the attorney. The Revenue Committee was for, yes, Ms. Was that the 28th? This one, okay, what time is the EDA class?
I'm not sure what it is.
It's up during the day, right? We should be back, okay. Okay, if I need to change it, I will. Thank you, Madam Secretary. We have the schedule right now for 6:00 p.m. And this committee is an important committee because this committee will look at how we can increase some revenues. And the first one we're looking at, Mr. Tax Collector, is that film permit. Y'all seen it when they closed down the bridge. And all they pay is $250 to do that.
And just went up on it.
You see? And we have to have our men and women in blue down there with that rather than being out in the neighborhoods. What you were talking about, Councilwoman James. So it's time to look at $250 might have been good in 1990, but $250 now, inflation and everything else is not the same. And I heard what you said, Councilman Harvey. So we're looking at that, and we're also going to look, we need the attorney there because we need to look at the ordinance that allows us to have those film permits and to see what we need to do about modifying and amending that ordinance, when we can do it. Does it have to be published? What amounts are there, limits on the amount that we can go? So those are questions. So we're gonna formulate some of those questions before the meeting and submit those to the mayor and to the attorney and to the treasurer, to the tax collector. That way we'll have some of these questions answered when we meet versus finding out at the meeting. So that we can come out of this meeting with increase in revenues. When we do the budget, we all looked at like, we can't do this increase in salaries because where are the new revenues? Where are the new revenues? We got to find some. And so one of the things, like we said earlier, we got to look at every fee that the city of Selma imposes. We got to look at it. But let's start with this film permit. Y'all know we vote on these. Sometimes we have special call meetings to do that. So we need to make sure. And like if someone wants one expedited, we may put an expedited fee in there. We got to make sure that it's legal. So that's why we need our lawyer on there too. Councilwoman Thomas and Councilman Johnson.
And I would like us to start, we don't, this legislative body do not know all of this that comes into itself. And I wanted to know what duty does the tax, I've been doing some research. What it really, they are supposed to, any business that's gonna open up for anybody. Want to know what kind of business licenses are being given out in the tax office for what type of business license are being given out? And I'm quite sure that there are some business that open up has never been before this body. And we need to give the tax office to give us a list of all the business revenue coming in 2021. Because we never.
That would be a good request to make. And if we can do that at a finance committee, I think that's excellent. Okay? All right, so revenue committee meeting tentatively scheduled right now for April 28th, 6 o'clock p.m. All are invited, but certain people have to be there, and we're asking them to come. We're graciously asking them to come. All right, the next item, the ALM, Alabama League of Municipalities Academic Academy meeting. You all know myself, Councilwoman James, Councilman Carmichael, Mayor Perkins, Ms. Wooten, Jim Corrigan from EDA, out of Craigville, and I'm missing one person. Mayor Perkins, I think I said it again. Ms. Susan Youngblood. 7 of us, we're part of this Economic Academy. And I remember I got to come back from Councilman Jefferson. We're going to do a meeting on April the 20th, and Council Secretary is setting that up for us. We'll get a time. But for those of you that are part of that group, we're doing a meeting on April the 20th with Mayor Perkins so that we can be ready on April the 28th. So April the 20th, and Council Secretary will get us those dates. Councilman Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to go back to the revenue part. This the citizens also might be harmful, but Selma and Dallas County has, I wouldn't say the cheapest property tax in the state, but it's rather close to it.
Okay. Good information. All right. Thank you, Councilman Jefferson. All right, we're gonna start with this film permit. And we're gonna look at these. We're gonna look at this. Take a close eye to it. Because if you are charging prices from 1990 and it's 2022, you're behind time. And it's time for us to catch up. Thank you for that, Councilman Johnson. All right, the next item, Dr. Bernard Lafayette Day. You all remember we voted and had a street renamed in honor of Dr. Bernard Lafayette. Well, and I know you know about this as well,
And I
Councilwoman.
want to throw some in after you get through.
So you go ahead, now.
No, you gonna do that,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna throw this in, because I like to stay within the law requirements.
Okay.
No.
Well, this is an honor that is due to somebody who actually did the work, and that's Dr. Bernard Lafayette. And we're going to have a joint press conference with the mayor and the city council on Friday, April the 29th. So we're gonna ask everybody to come to council chambers on Friday, April 29th. This is a joint effort, the mayor's office and the council. We will be asking all the citizens to participate in the first annual Dr. Bernard Lafayette Day, which is scheduled for May 14th. So place that in your calendars as well. May 14th, the city of Selma I should say first annual, but first, Dr. Bernard Lafayette Day. And there are a lot of activities planned for that day, and we'll have groups to come and give us more information as we get closer. But 2 days, Friday, April 29th, that's the press conference, and then today, 12 noon for the press conference on the 29th. And Dr. Lafayette will be present. He will be with us. So we're thankful for that. And then the day is on May 14th, and we'll get the details on that. Councilwoman Jackson. Right, go ahead, Councilwoman Thomas.
Also, I want to say this, and the reason why I'm saying this is because it's tricky. We voted to make that day for law. But we have, we're connected to them, this legislature, this week. They are asking for some chairs and tables. But you must know that, elected reading is property. It must serve a purpose of the city.
Public purpose.
Public purpose. And I've been reading to make sure before because this can't get this to come back. And I want to make sure that our attorney follow me with this before we agree to this.
Yeah, well, I was just bringing the announcement of the dates tonight. I'm not asking for anything for
Well,
them.
I'm saying
Before they
they
come.
called me
Yeah,
and they asked.
okay.
And they said, and also, well, we did agree to make that day for the city of Selma. We have the press conference to honor him. And we're having, we're connected in some kind of way. I want to make sure, like I've been reading, and I want to make sure that our attorney goes there. What serves the purpose of the public. To make sure that I can't tell them that put a vote on the floor to say that when the language saying something different from the city.
Yes, ma'am. So we've got to review that before we make.
And that's what I was turning back to look at.
Okay.
Before we, they're asking for chairs and tables for that day, that day.
Who is Councilwoman Thomas?
For Bernard Lafayette, they are asking.
It's a legacy foundation.
The Legacy Foundation.
Yeah, they're asking, they asked, but I told them I can't say that because of the language. We have to.
Well, they didn't ask me, but I see they called you,
They
so that's
called me,
fine.
yes, they
They
did.
just wanted me to get the
And I
dates out.
told them that I will make sure that I look into this and make, I have been reading on it.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
it's kind of tricky, and I wanted our attorney
To take a look
at it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then if me and him, if his opinion from what I see is brilliant, then I'll bring it back and then if we can't, we'll have to let them know.
We look forward to you bringing that back with the attorney. Thank you so much. All right, the next item, the annual World Day of Prayer. Prayer is always Lord. May 5th, council chambers, and they will be in the council chambers, I believe starting that day at noon. The council secretary will verify that for me. But place that on your calendars as well. This is something they usually do. Yes, ma'am. 11 to 1. Thank you so much. So May the 5th, 11 to 1. And last year we had to go to the convention center, but this year we're back in chambers. So please try to participate. And they have day-long activities. It's good for you. All right, so that's 11 to 1. Place it on your calendars for their prayer. All right, the next item, discretionary account balances. I don't know, this is a request to start off for myself, because I know some of you are probably keeping up with your balances a lot better than I am. But Madam Treasurer, I know for myself, can you provide me with what I have in my discretionary account? This is me. And anyone else that wants to join in? Okay, I'm here, everybody. I was going there. So can we all find out what's in our balances for our general discretionary accounts and also for our oil lease accounts? Yes, ma'am. We have not approved the budget for the oil lease. So right now, waiting on the resolution, okay? Well, in the meantime, let's get our general account, and then once we've done the appropriate resolution and approve that, then we can find out what we got in our discretion, our oil lease discretionary accounts, okay? So everybody wants that,
Yeah, we asked him.
that's a consensus request.
And I think you were gonna have that at this coming meeting, right?
Sure.
We requested that previously.
The all lease, not the fund balances.
No, not the balance with the resolution.
Actually, what we were gonna do, as clerk, what we actually voted.
Vote on, that's what we did, that is correct, that's correct. So we need to get that information from the clerk. And then because we haven't discussed this already, it might not be ready for Tuesday. So we asked for the clerk to provide us with the actual, what was in the minutes on what we adopted regarding the discretionary account, because we took some votes on that. Yeah, so let's get that first. So Mr. Attorney, not yet on that one, but once we get that information, then we'll be ready to get that resolution. Yes, ma'am.
I need you, we got things we need to take.
Yes,
care
and we're
of.
gonna work on, we're gonna get it taken
Said
care of.
that, I tell you something, people, public sector is on the issue.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And this, we never had this problem, never.
Okay.
When it comes to putting our funds in our account, and we gotta wait till our clerk. I thought we asked her that the last time we bring that word.
Yeah, but it hasn't been formally, we had formally requested though, we need to submit it.
But who gives them the information that we have?
Well, sometimes council secretary does it, or individual council members do it themselves with an email. So it hadn't been a formal request made yet. So we need to follow that procedure in order to get it done. Okay, those are the 10 items that were on the agenda. Now, any committees want to report at this time? Any committees want to report? Are there no other committees?
I want to report.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know we're doing the committee report now. We need to take it all during the council meeting. I know you
If
guys-
we're doing it now,
Right,
we don't have, it's not necessary.
Right, and old and new, we need to do it now.
You are absolutely
Okay,
correct.
now.
We're gonna do that.
Okay,
And they're presenting at the work session.
Yeah.
One time, the whole report, and then come back at the council meeting and presenting the whole report again. So we're gonna do it.
You got to do it. right.
well, let's do this. They didn't build Rome in one day, and they definitely ain't gonna build Selma in one night. We've got to look at our agenda for both the work session and the council meeting, and let's just not piecemeal it. Let's make some changes all the way through. Let's not just do one little change here, one little change there. If we're gonna make changes, let's make them all in one time. So let's run this, we know, we need to look at the mayor's report, we need to look at the committee reports. Those two things are areas that we need to look at a minute. So let's look at that, but not for Tuesday. That will not be on Tuesday's agenda. Right. Everything, and ladies and gentlemen, only the items that we've discussed tonight are up for discussion and up for a vote on Tuesday. Let's be decisive and effective. So let's not come with a whole lot of whatever. We spent this time at this work session, and that's what we're supposed to vote on Tuesday. So if you didn't bring it up tonight,
Well, you better make sure.
unless it's an emergency,
And you better make sure that our attorney is aware of that, cause.
well, everyone is aware. We're all here, and everybody can hear.
Aware of what? I missed that.
Aware of, we only gonna bring up the things that we discussed tonight, and we're only gonna do that on Tuesday. We're not gonna do anything else.
I didn't have a report, so I'm not.
He's present, he's present, so let's keep it just with us. All right, committee. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any way possible that we can have our first week at our work session as well? Because
We can make a request, go ahead,
And by law, we are not documenting our work session. By law, we are supposed to vote on our work session and our council meeting on Tuesday. Whatever we discuss here at, this is a public meeting. Whatever we discuss here, we're supposed to have those documents. Our clerk is supposed to have those minutes,
Okay,
like you wrote down.
yes, ma'am.
And when we present our minutes and our council meeting to vote on, if we supposed to vote on both.
Okay, let's stay on what's printed. I hear what you're saying, but let's stay focused on what's written down for
But
tonight.
that's why
And you are
I
correct.
have stuff
And
right.
so let's bring that back up and write it down and put it on the agenda to discuss properly. And your request as well, Councilwoman Jackson. Let's stay on what's on the paper. I think that we do best when we stay on script. All right? Now, committee reports. Any committee report, I think I saw your hand, Councilwoman Jackson Thomas.
Yes, I'm bringing this up because we, right now, we've been in a violation. When citizens can't come to the meeting, disabled, we got disabled handicap. And, we keep talking about the elderly. We keep talking about mental health. This is a legislative branch that operates. They citizens are supposed to be able to be able to come to these meetings, but they can't get on there. They have a speaker. She couldn't get, she has health problems, couldn't come up there. So we need to be focused on some of our rules and what the law says based on with this here. And we have talked about this too many times, about the elderly. And also, we have talked about, we said with teamwork, work together. We have talked about the city, the municipality property, the conditions of some of the things that we. And I don't think that the legislative branch should not keep requesting and keep asking for things to move forward, because we have to make that decision on city property. So,
You said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
so my thing is this year, we're not moving on the city property. The building, we're not getting information. The committee is supposed to work together with their department head, how to move things, which is not happening. We are almost, fourth month, 2022. So we need to start doing some showings.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's your report. Any other committee? All right, you'll finish up.
We have discussed in the past, budget of $25,000 fund and Selma redevelopment authority contract. In the, I think it was inadvertent out of the budget, and we have all discussed wanting to add it back in the budget. And I think the question is, from what accounts, and I think what we talked about doing was we actually just wanted to use unappropriated funds in order to do so. Since we included the American Rescue Funds into the budget, we have plenty of funds to do that. We would like to defer to treasurer. Can you kind of give us some guidance on what account we need?
Well, and the worksheet that I gave you guys is the Selma development implement item. Second page at the bottom highlighted. I said item.
It can come from the rescue plan fund, so it can come directly out of the funds. Okay, so
If you just give us an account numbers, we can vote on that Tuesday night, that'd be great.
I'm gonna ask, I'm wondering before you put that on Tuesday night, and I want to ask a question about that, because the email that came out, it stated that the city council, I don't remember us talking about this $25,000 right here. So I want to know a little bit more about it before we put that on for we vote on Tuesday.
Okay, well, we voted. We voted and approved the contract. We've already voted. and approved the contract.
Okay, but you said it got left out.
It did not get included. It was supposed to be moved from tourism, and I think before it got lost in the shuffle, before we did our final approval.
So if the $25,000 is gonna deal with tourism and it's all put over on these together that makes it out to get $25,000.
Well, 25,000 was the amount of the contract. we approved the contract. The problem was, approved the contract, we thought we had it in place because we talked about it. But when we,
Give you some clarity, so I can
yeah,
move forward.
when we checked on it, though, when we started checking on it, the treasurer started checking on it, she said, I don't see it anymore. So we've got to kind of circle back around, and figure out what to do.
It's an error that needs to be corrected. All right,
Also, I would like to, I'm going to attempt to have a finance committee meeting a week from today. And I apologize, I did not bring my
next Thursday.
next Thursday. I did not bring, I was working on a tentative agenda. One of the things is when you go back through the budget performance report that, Ms. Ellison circulated in an email where I had highlighted those accounts that had deficiency in them, just to kind of see why they're over budget, so we can, you know, go over that report. I would like to invite BNSS back for that meeting to give us a review on everything that they did for us, those scopes of work. And also, if you have any questions, I think a copy of the policy and procedure for the finance department, that draft that they prepared for us. If you would look at it, I would love to be able to send them the question that we have before they can get here on Thursday, so they will have some chance to at least see them and do a little review. So if anybody has a question or something they would like to have addressed, if they would just send it to Mr. Ellison, get it to me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All right, with that said, Councilman Michael Johnson, thank you. Councilwoman Christie Thomas, thank you. Councilman Troy Harvey, thank you. Councilwoman Lisa James, thank you. Councilman Alexis Jemison, thank you. And Councilwoman Jamie Thomas, thank you too. Yes.
Would keep the record so when the house burned down, what they get burned down, how long.
Fire department should have.
Now, listen,
Okay. It's all right, it's all right. Well, there being no further business of the Selma City Council, this work session is hereby adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
You did a great job.
Okay. Sometimes it costs. And you let me know when you're there. And I'll put you on this one. Because that's it right there. Council President, I'll put you on. We're not getting it. Thank you, Mr. Brooks. I'll do that. I'll put it right there. Sorry. Thank you, Chris. Sit down. Sit down. You remember. That's the way my mama was doing my dad at a church meeting. I was trying to think. You put it in, okay. You put it in. You put it in, okay. I was real nice. We're going to post it. That was really nice. Okay. It's over. That was really nice. How you doing? They did that too. Okay. That was really nice. They brought peace to the meeting.